Now my next stop is Florence. So I took the train from Bologna to Florence. As you can tell, it was very busy there. It only took 1 hour. Walking down this path, our Airbnb was right there. Walking up these very narrow steps to the very top was definitely not the most comfortable experience. And here we are at the room, very decent sized room. So we got this big bed there and then small little room with the bed there and not a bad view. It had this mini little balcony overlooking that little square over there. I paid around 600 for 3 nights, so a little high in the price, but definitely a very nice view. Along the way, we came across the Mercato Centrale Firenze, which is this huge market of selling different kinds of clothes, and leather purses and whatnot. And our first stop was Trattoria Zaza. This restaurant had a lot of good reviews. Local also say this is a good place to go, so we decided to check it out. And so you walk around and there's a lot of seats outside, but once you walk inside, it's basically a maze and almost like a museum. You'll see what I mean in a short while. For appetizer, we got the antipasti Zaza, which was incredible choices. Our favorite was definitely the omelet and then all the different kinds of meats that they gave us. I know it's weird to film the restaurant's bathroom, but this bathroom is something else. Look at it. It's made so elegantly, made in like the Asian style. It's very dark for some reason, but it's still very nice, very mysterious looking. And they did a very, very good job making this bathroom look incredible. We also ordered the carbonara. Forgot to film a video. Very cheesy, like overly cheesy, and I'm somebody who likes cheese, that we couldn't really finish it, and it was a little too much, so don't order that one. To make the most of our 3-day stay, we decided to book a tour on Airbnb, and we were shown around by this local guide, telling us about the different places and their histories, and just telling us what we need to know while we're touring. And this was actually very interesting. We were watching this very long bus turn into this very narrow street, and it was very interesting to see how well he was able to turn that in. Boom. We then went to the Palazzo Medici. We didn't really go inside, I don't know why. We just looked at it through the metal gates, but, you know, still interesting thing to see. Now we're in the famous square where the Florence Cathedral is. I remember this part of the tour well. The tour guide was telling us about how these kinds of buildings existed. As you can see, there's no door. And the reason is the rich, they would climb up, they have ladders to climb up on to reach their house, and then so that when there's an invasion, they just remove these stairs and nobody can come invade and rob them and do stuff to them. Here we are in the Oratorio dei Buononimi di San Martino, which was this just small little church with beautiful pictures all over the wall, as you can see. We are now in the Piazza della Repubblica, which is to be the center of the city. Our guide recommended us Gelateria Eduardo to get some very good ice cream, and as you can tell by the size of the line, everybody else also heard good things about it. A way to know if ice cream is actually natural is if they have it hidden and covered with a metal tin on top. The ice cream cone is definitely very crunchy. You definitely tell it was made fresh. Tastes unlike the cones you buy at like a regular store. So, yeah. Eduardo is located right next door to another ice cream place, and that ice cream place is completely empty. But Eduardo had a line coming out from outside, so that says a lot about this ice cream. I got the mango flavor, but they also have strawberry and chocolate or many different kinds of flavors, so very nice place to visit. We are now walking toward Ponte Vecchio. An interesting backstory about this bridge: Hitler actually did not want to blow up this bridge, even though all the other bridges were blown up. He wanted to keep this one because he liked it very much. And to end the night on a fun note, we decided to order tipsy tours on Airbnb, which is basically them walking us around Florence, telling us different stories while we sip on wine and visit different kinds of bars and drink. The first bar they took us to is Quello, but one thing you should know about tipsy tours is that they take you around to different kinds of weird bars that you wouldn't think about actually visiting. I did it in Rome, then in Florence, and the bars were pretty weird, and I don't know why they would take us to those ones, but yeah, it was still a fun experience, so keep that in mind. In the Santa Croce region, there's this wine window, and the tour guide ordered us a round of shots, depending on what kind we wanted. Now we're at the Basilica di Santa Croce. Our last stop was this bar/club called Oinos. So it was definitely very clubby, very vibey, very interesting look to it, but there weren't a lot of people because it was in the middle of the week. I got the Japanese iced tea, which is basically Long Island, so it wasn't anything special. Once we were done, we decided to get out of there and explore the bars on our own, and our first stop was Floreal. This was definitely a more hip kind of bar, but once you see the menu and the drinks, you're like, damn, this is definitely a place that has good drinks. We then went to Mad Souls and Spirits, which was very sexual. The names are very creative, like Beach Bum Strawberry, Spank You Like You Mean It, and Smack My Beer Up, stuff like that. The bathroom was out of pocket. They literally had a stripping pole right there inside the bathroom. It was 3 a.m. at this point, and Mr. Pizza was the only place open. And honestly, for a fast food kind of place, the pizza was not that bad at all. It was very good, so definitely check this out for your midnight runs.